This next example comes out of section 6.1, reciprocal quotient and Pythagorean identity. To start off, we're going to be given some identities. These identities are actually all on a formula sheet. The first three are called the reciprocal identities, and we've looked at them even in earlier chapters. Cosecant theta equals 1 over sine theta, secant theta equals 1 over cosine theta, cotangent theta equals 1 over tan theta. These are just going to be taken as true. We don't have to prove them. In fact, we'll never be asked to prove something that's already on the formula sheet. The next ones are the quotient identities. The two quotient identities we're looking at are tan theta equals sine theta over cos theta. Again, we've seen that in an earlier chapter. And cotangent theta is the reciprocal of that, so it's cos theta over sine theta. The last ones are called Pythagorean identities. By far the most important of these is the fact that sine squared plus cos squared equals 1. We haven't used it a lot yet, but it will be by far your most useful identity when you're doing some of the questions that come later on. If you can't picture why that's true, let's go back to the unit circle. Remind yourself that these coordinates, besides being x, y, are also cos theta, sine theta. We also know that the radius of this unit circle is 1, so it should be true that x squared plus y squared equals 1, which is also meaning that cos squared plus sine squared equals 1. And so, relating it back to the unit circle might help you remember it. Again, it's on the formula sheet, so you don't need to start trying to memorize it anyway. Now, if we take that identity and rewrite it, we can actually derive the other two Pythagorean identities directly from it. If I divide everything in this identity by cosine squared, seems like a strange thing to do, but we'll come up with another one that says, well, what's sine over cos? Sine over cos is tan, so sine squared over cos squared is tan squared. Cos over cos is 1, and 1 over cosine is secant, so I have here secant squared. This is the second Pythagorean identity. Useful, not quite as common and useful as the first one up here, but still you'll run into it fairly often. The last of these is start off with sine squared plus cos squared equals 1 again. This time I'll divide everything by sine squared. And what I end up with is 1 plus cotangent squared equals cosecant squared. Another of the three Pythagorean identities. 1, 2, 3. Again, the main one is the sine squared plus cos squared is 1, but you will run into these others in various questions and need to know how to use them. So when it comes to what kind of questions would be asked, let's take a look at the next example.